Hello everyone and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/finalshowfilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/finalshowfilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/films, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Monty. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing over there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and are going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day.
And we are live. Hello, everyone. I am William, and I am your Dungeon Master storyteller for this Warcraft RPG campaign. And I'm just going to barrel through the people talking over me.
In what world can Stan talk over you?
This is fair.
I'm just picturing him throwing bills at you guys.
Just full Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, yeah, was the and so welcome back. And with me today we have Stan.
We do? Oh, yes. I am trying to play a goblin tinker, mystic, a techno-mystic tinker, yes. It's been a long time here, folks. Just call me Josh.
And Zach.
It's been 2 weeks. I know. It seems like forever. I'm Zach. I'm playing Leaf Ironmender, the half-orc tinker priest of the Holy Light.
And Rudy.
Hey, I'm Rudy. I'm playing Break Earth Whisperer, Tauren Rune Master.
And Austin, whose character's name is Jangatal.
I'm playing the troll of the party. He is a hunter. He does all the survival stuff, talks with animals, and he, most importantly, is the companion of Sneckfriend, who is the embodiment of our group.
I was wondering where he was at.
He's here. Sneckfriend is never far.
Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Shiana Flamecarver. She is an orc assassin.
Yes.
Sorry, I just forgot what she was.
It's been a long time.
Rogue. She has one arm. She is amazing and super happy all the time.
No, she's just an assassin now. She kills people with sass.
I mean, she did that
She's
before.
sassy.
And John.
I'm John. I'm playing Garrett Cloudspeaker, the Orc Paladin, Spirit Champion, and despite being the person that has missed the most episodes, he is the person that can remember his character the easiest.
I remember my character very well.
And when last we left off, the group, at the request of Vol'jin, made their way towards the Alterac Valley to deliver a message to Drekthar of the Frostwolf clan of orcs. Having arrived on location, the group delivered their message and, well, I say delivered. Almost got trapped in a snowstorm before a Frostwolf hunter found them and brought them back with a pack of wolves. But
We would have been fine.
let me tell you about Frostbite. None of you were equipped for it.
We
I'm
would
an
have
orc. I'm naturally equipped for it.
But
Although I wasn't here, so I have to assume I equipped myself for it.
They arrived at Frostwolf Keep and delivered their message to Drekthar and were offered the hospitality of the Frostwolves to stay. And should they be so inclined, there is always aid that could be given to the Frostwolves if they are willing to help, as the Stormpike expedition of Alliance Dwarves has continuously been harassing and harrying the Frostwolf orcs who have claimed this land as their home. And there's a number of other tasks that can always be performed. But at the moment, the group is resting for the evening, with Shiana attempting to bond with a heavily injured, scarred, one-eyed, and three-legged wolf that wanders through the camp. Opening steps have been made. We'll see how it goes.
She's sitting as close to it as it will let.
It's currently about 10 feet.
Question.
Yes.
How did the direwolves and the frostwolves react to my divinely inspired direwolf?
They mostly just treat it like a direwolf.
Just curious. Just because it is a celestial entity in the form of a direwolf.
I mean, in this particular case, it is a spirit wolf. It's a spirit dire wolf. The spirit of the spirit of nature acknowledges itself. So
Cool.
But so you guys have the
To the group, assuming that we're all together.
Gianna's not.
Assuming that most of us are together.
I'm not already tracked out.
I'm inclined to offer my aid to the frostwolves.
Indeed.
I'm going to feel.
I have no objections to this. If we can aid them, then they should be able to give us their aid faster.
Also, they are allies. And
Of course.
folks in danger. I assume. How does Jankatal feel amongst the Frostwolves, or seem to be active amongst the Frostwolves?
He seems more interested in the wolves than you,
Yeah. Well, he's always more interested in the wolves than there.
generally speaking. Yes,
That's not new.
it's another herd of wolves, and this herd of wolves has been joined by a herd of orcs. Pack, whatever.
Should I pass
Okay.
this around?
I need to know where you fall in the alignment chart.
Is it the
oh, is it the sandwich alignment chart?
Yes.
sandwich alignment?
No, I am not total sandwich anarchy.
I am total sandwich anarchy. A Pop-Tart is a sandwich, and I can explain why with my culinary degree.
We're not going to get into that. Anyways,
I'm being a destructive element.
Okay, so yeah.
well, if we're in
I'll
caution,
show you a short development.
I will check with. I'll check it.
Radio.
They told us what kind of assistance they needed with that, didn't they? I mean, what did they
There
say?
are
I forgot.
dwarves harrying their land, basically. They are
Yeah,
the something.
Didn't they tell us?
Stormpike.
Yes.
I would go as far
Are we
as
going to plan to disrupt their camp
Well-
or just go ahead
I think we'll see what
and aid and attack?
ideas the leadership of the Frostwolves has.
Yeah, I thought they said something about what we were.
I believe I sit on a line on that chart. By the way, I sit on like a point between two of the alignments. But
Either way, we can confront this in the morning. I just want to check and see
Yeah.
where we'll take it. And I'll go speak with Shiona and see if
They were planning to go in.
she is on the same line as the rest of us.
How she'll follow us. She likes me.
No, she doesn't.
she
I don't know.
loves you for target practice.
I don't know what has caused you to be
Optimistic.
optimistic on that regard, but allow me to disabuse you of that notion.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna sit here and make a few more hand grenades.
Eat that. I'm gonna go find Shiona.
I was going to say you're overcoming frostbite.
If you do you need a fur cloak or something, I'm sure the Frostwolves have it.
I have a blanket.
That would probably be a wise idea for next time.
You should probably go ask and see if they have anything to spare.
Yes.
all right, then for your edification,
Once I can start
um,
moving my hands.
What while the blizzard is raging outside the keep, as soon as you cross the boundary of the Frostwolf Palisade, the storm just dies away. And it's still cold and it's still snowy, but there's not a raging storm anywhere within the walls
Does
of
it
the Palisade.
feel like the spirits are?
It's very obviously
Yeah.
the work of the spirits.
Can I just like ask spirits of fire and heat to keep me warm?
I mean, that would be
Is that a thing I can do?
Ah,
With my
that's
ability
a
to speak to spirits?
right?
there is actively a spell for that, but Elemental manipulation is a cantrip, but I don't think you get cantrip.
I don't think Paladins don't get cantrips. I had the ability to summon a lava lash.
Yeah.
So,
Roll me,
No,
roll me a
no,
spirit
let me
check.
see it. Let me see it. I'm gonna beat you if you show me one more.
12 plus 7.
Uh,
Sorry, saving throw or just check?
Just check.
Oh, check. It's 12.
Salad like turtle.
I go further.
The spirits of fire will help you ignore the cold. You don't feel it as much. It's still there, and if you go out into a blizzard, you'll still be making checks to take points of exhaustion. But you're not as uncomfortable as you would be otherwise.
This just massive warm orc body just moving through the snow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my direwolf in tow since they seem to just be. The direwolves are given free reign basically
Yeah.
around the.
They roam freely.
Yeah, with my direwolf in tow, I'm gonna go find Shiona.
She has set herself up for the night about 10 feet away from this wolf.
Does my wolf seem inclined to interact with that wolf at all?
Not particularly, and this wolf doesn't seem inclined to interact with anyone. You see this. There are dire wolves of various different types and sizes and colorations throughout the camp. You see, most of them are white. There's a handful that are still like a tawny brown and some grays. But this is the only one of the only ones that you've seen. There's a handful of them, but one of the only ones that you've seen that is black, and it is jet black, and covered in scars. There are just scar marks all across the entirety of its body. One of its eyes is scarred shut with the long slash mark, and it has all four of its paws, but one of them is very clearly injured to the point that it can't use it, so it just keeps it curled up close to its chest. And the couple of times you've seen it walking, it's been walking on just three paws. And from what you've gathered, it is very much sort of, it's here, but it doesn't let anyone get close to it or assist it because, I mean, as far as you can read, it feels like anyone's assistance is a session of weakness.
Can I sort of get a read on it right now? I forget, orcs in this conversion have bonuses to handle the direwolves.
I don't think so. I think that's Stardust. But I wrote that.
I don't see it somewhere. I don't know what system it is.
I think I wrote that in for Stardust. Yeah, it's not in here.
14.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's resting right now, and it's keeping a wary watch on anyone that gets too close to it, including you and Shiana. But it's okay with Shiana being where she is right now.
So you found yourself a warrior, I say as I walk over towards Shiona.
Yes. Won't let me get much closer than this.
He seems a particularly solitary breed. I came to speak with you on the subject of aiding the Frostwolves. Whether you are outlined or not.
Yes. I
Seems the rest of us are likewise minded, save gentle and interesting wolves.
wolves are part of most wolves, so.
They are. Well,
So he would probably be okay with
in that case, we'll rest of the evening and see what aid we can provide for it. Are you fine here?
it. Yes. I don't want us to be here tonight.
Very well. I nod, I turn, I'm going to head and find Drekthar.
Drekthar is not hard to find. At the moment he's in the middle. He's in the great hall of the Frostwolf Keep on the sort of the Frostwolf throne, sort of sitting the blind, ancient-looking orc with the band around his eyes. But you've seen Drekthar before because you served during the Exodus of the
I think
orcs.
he's actually one of the people that taught me how to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Thrall and Drekthar would have taught the next generation of shamans.
yeah,
So
he taught me how to talk to the spirits in the first place. Master Drekthar.
because he was in Orgrimmar for a while.
Yeah.
Before he returned to Alterac. Ah, one of my early students. It has been a while, Garak.
It has been, Master. They call me Cloud Speaker now.
Finally completed your ombre gore and earned your name.
I did indeed.
It is good to see you have grown in power and spirit.
I try my best. My allies and I have decided that we will aid your clan in the troubles that you have here with dwarves.
This is appreciated, especially with the dire news and urgent request that you have brought along with you.
Is there anything of note that you would specifically require assistance with? Or
There is our primary reserve of iron and precious metals, the Dry Whisker mines, has been taken from us by the Stormpike commandos. If that could be returned to us, we could once again begin mining iron for fresh weapons and repairing armor. As it stands, if they hold that mine for too much longer, we will run out of materials to build new weapons, repair armor, and eventually attrition will wear us out.
do you have any scouting information on the numbers of these dwarves in the mines? Or where their commander is?
Well, their commander would be Vandar Stormpike, and trying to storm the Stormpike garrison would be difficult. It is well reinforced and entrenched. But as for the numbers within the camp, within the mining facility, we are uncertain, but there were 20 orc warriors sent to guard the mine while the peons did work. So enough to take it from them.
Has there been signs of dwarven technology in the area as well?
We heard the report of a siege tank, though whether it has stayed there once the mine was taken or not is uncertain.
Perhaps our goblin can do something about that tank if it's still there.
Perhaps.
Well, I'll return with this information to my guild and see what we can plan for tomorrow.
Captain Galvangar might be able to provide more information.
Where might I find the captain?
You'll typically find him standing in the Iceblood garrison to the north, along the road to the mine.
On the road, not here.
He maintains the forward garrison on the outskirts of our keep.
Then we shall see him on our way to the mines. Is there anything we should take with us to the garrison to show that we are allies?
Word will be sent ahead. They'll be aware.
Very well.
And also, you are the only horde members who will be approaching, so
One would hope that. Well, thank you for your information, Master. We'll see about working with one into another.
of course.
But go relay that information to the rest of the group. Josh, how do you feel about taking over a dwarven siege tank?
Oh, goody.
And/or scrapping it for parts? Whichever.
Or whatever. Whatever happens, happens.
So the mine, Drekthar has informed me of them. The iron mine in the north has been taken over by the Stormpike dwarves, and it is a critical resource for their maintenance and creation of weapons. Retrieving it would be a great boon. They had enough force to deal with 20 orcish warriors, and at the sounds of a siege tank, so whether or not it's at the mine, we don't know. But if there is a siege tank in the area, I figured you might want to know about it, Josh.
Yes. Okay. I'll take care of that.
Imagine Josh like slipping underneath it, and 5 minutes later it's just gone. Just
I mean, yeah.
just disassembled, reassembled.
Take a look at it now. We can do the old-fashioned plaster all the openings up with mud so they can't see, and then open the top and drop hand grenades in.
And yes, you could have played the battleground. I
I actually haven't played.
Alterac Valley battleground.
I don't compete in them. Still cold, Josh. Can I do the same thing? Ask the spirits to sort of not keep him warm, but to warm Leaf up a little bit.
You can, and if it's not hard, you already made the roll for it. And
That's an actual 20. That's
Hanging out at one of the campfires and having
as Garrett,
another.
Because we both have 2 levels of exhaustion, I think.
Yeah. As Garrick beseeches the spirits, you feel a faint warmth well up within you, and it doesn't remove the cold. You still feel that chill, but it makes it more bearable. It makes it easier to handle. It's less painful.
rest with the spirits.
How long will it take to...
So, hey, spirits come in many forms, and people rest with them in their own way.
Don't you only have 1 point at this point?
Yeah, mine went down.
Because lesser restoration.
Yeah.
Does lesser restore...
Yeah.
No, that was your...
Yeah,
the
the
mark.
Oh, right, yeah,
There's
the,
mark. Yeah,
right, yeah, the mark.
thing.
Which one of us did you use? I thought you used it on him.
It was one of us. Was it?
Because I have 2 written down, so...
Right, you got the mark of restoration, which over a short rest can remove 1 exhaustion.
A long rest removes 1. So, to get rid of 2, you take 2 long rests.
Yeah.
Or a long rest and then his mark. For a short rest. Anyways. Resting for the night. So,
Before Shanna goes to sleep, she wants to talk to the wolf.
What do you say to the wolf?
Is it still awake at this point?
I mean, it's watching you.
Your puppy.
It's watching you. It's sort of half awake.
I know what it's like. You think that weathering everything yourself will make you stronger. I used to think that too. But I learned that one of the strongest things that a person, animal, anyone can do is to rely on others. It does not show weakness, quite the opposite. You are stronger together in the pack.
Roll me animal handling.
natural. It points you.
It leads you.
13.
You and I have the same animal.
It sort of looks at you with its one eye and just kind of stares you in the eye for a moment. And after a few moments, it just closes its eye again and just kind of like exhales a bit. And you can see the puff of condensed air. In the middle of the snow.
Yeah.
She is, just like the wolf, a little on the stubborn side. Is there anything... Did I get anything major from speaking with the various wolves about here, trying to get the feel?
What are you looking for?
I'm intrigued by the relationship between the wolves and the orcs. I'm used to the You said it's more so than even the regular relationship. It's closer to what I am accustomed to with animals.
Yeah, from what you've gathered, the elder of the orcs, as far as the wolves refer to him, asked if they would like to live among the frost wolves, and they agreed. In exchange for their warmth and their aid in battle, they are given shelter and food, and they are free to leave should they ever desire, but it has been a good pact, and so they have kept it.
So it's akin to the way the wyverns are, sort of. Yeah. All right.
I forget my name.
I don't know if you did or not.
Are there? Who's the alpha? Is the alpha? I'm presuming one of the wolves, or is the alpha actively the elder?
Of the frost wolves, the last there is no current alpha among the frost wolves, and from what you've gathered, the last alpha was killed in battle, and they have not. A new one has not come forth yet.
In that case, I'm just going to kind of wander about and look for any of the notable wolves who I feel would be, the ones who are in contention for alpha, or any that stand out.
I mean, and stand out. There's the lone wolf that Shiana is near. That's heavily injured.
At some point, then after making runs, I'll probably check out that wolf.
It growls before you even get as close as Shiana is, but
I mean, what would a roll to figure out what its mentality is? What's going on?
animal handling.
Well, what do you know? That's a natural one. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Walk off.
It doesn't want you near it, and that's as far as you get.
Cool. I know what growl means.
It means go away.
Cool. Yeah. Kind of like, hey, what are the big wolves? Who's looking to be in charge?
Yeah, but of the rest, there are a number of different wolves that seem to have notable experience, and some that are the largest, most cunning. But it seems like the most likely alpha is the wolf that has. And another thing that you pick up is that often one of the wolves will seek out one of the frost wolves to bond with them, and sort of serve as act as a life companion, essentially. The wolf that is currently bonded to Drekthar, who is one of the older wolves of the pack, seems like the most likely next alpha.
Okay. That's what I'm doing probably the rest of the day, and where do the wolves sleep?
Wherever among the orcs. The orcs and wolves tend to sleep together to share warmth.
Cool.
Or the wolves just sleep in piles.
I was about to say, I will join a wolf pile. Presuming there are no objections from the wolves.
Not really.
Yep. Unlike most people in this party, it won't make me smell any worse.
You bragging or complaining?
Troll don't care.
So,
Surprise, surprise, the troll smells like nature.
Didn't know that nature smelled heavily of, body odor, wet dog.
What else does nature smell like?
I don't know, you always think of nature smelling things in a good sense, like honeysuckle and stuff like that, but I suppose...
I'm pretty sure nature has more smelly animals than honeysuckle.
Well, if we're going by the most of what's in nature, at least around here, in that case, nature smells like kudzu.
which seems
Okay.
appropriate. Considering,
Which kudzu doesn't have a bad smell.
true.
It's edible.
Theoretically.
I've never tried it, but there is a cookbook at the library.
To cook kudzu.
Yeah, all kinds of different kudzu ways to serve kudzu.
I mean,
Hey,
Consider adding up something.
considering that
try to eat it.
considering that kudzu will outlast the rest of us, might as well.
No.
The vine that ate
I
us
think
out.
I'd try it.
You can't have leafy things.
Oh, that's right. He gives me
Is kudzu leafy?
Yes.
Yes.
It's giant. But that's all
it's
it
made
is.
of leaves. I don't know. Maybe my body. I can digest Brussels sprouts. My body might be able to digest it.
Yes, depends on
You try it.
We can go on this journey.
It's made of leaves and vine. So it's like I guess
Yeah,
which
the
part-
vines
what
aren't
if you
much.
eat- what if you eat the vine of
The
leaves?
vine.
But you can't have celery.
Can have
Yes, you
celery.
can.
I can have celery.
Oh.
I
That's
can't have
changed.
like
Can you
spinach and cabbage
Can
and
you eat
lettuce.
the stem that the grapes come off of?
That's wood.
Exactly.
Why would you?
Kudzu is not a woody stem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kudzu
Regardless,
spaghetti.
aside from grazing in the backyard,
So,
You just need a goat.
and spider.
Multiple goats.
Baby goats.
But so, you all get a long rest.
Green goats milk.
I haven't realized I didn't name my wolf previously. I had no named it. Amakwa.
there's a fictional character named that.
A-U-K-W-A.
If there is, his wolf.
Amakwa. In Orcish, it means brother.
Before we rest, I wanted to sense rooms, see if they're
There we go. It's a Hawaiian god.
Should I name my steam suit?
Give you 1 second.
You'd probably name him Steve. So.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a beast.
No,
Why was I-
he has to sense runes.
No.
I think that might be. I need to check real quick. Patterns. I think the frost pattern is.
The Hawaiian one is pronounced Amakua. No, the M and the U are inverted.
Thank you, Foxit.
I do like foxes.
What do we do?
Wait, man, foxes are cool peeps.
Actually, I'm pretty sure peeps are ducks. Funny sometimes.
Keeps it marshmallow.
Are they
Very,
mutually
very
exclusive?
stale marshmallow.
Yes.
Why are they mutually exclusive? Something can be a duck and a marshmallow. It's called a peep.
Well, no, because it's marshmallow chip. Duck. It doesn't quack. It doesn't fly, kind of. It doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. It's like, which bird can't fly? It's not
A lot of them. Chickens.
Yeah.
Penguins.
Ostriches,
do.
emus.
The ducks do.
Kiwis.
Chickens.
Kiwis barely even have wings, to be fair.
Do kiwis even have wings? I have never seen
Yes,
the wings
they're
on a
tiny
kiwi.
and stubby and adorable, and they look stupid.
I bet kiwis roll when you know.
But that's a really mean way of speaking New Zealand.
What?
People from New Zealand call themselves Kiwis.
Oh, I would only roll the fat ones.
But not better.
I like to roll fat things.
It's not better.
Why is it when I looked up kiwi bird, I get all of these recipes for how to fry up kiwi? I didn't realize that was a thing you ate in Australia.
You mean New Zealand?
Wherever.
Wherever.
Do they have wings?
I'm sure somebody from New Zealand would stab you if you actually said
Yeah,
that.
don't never the twain shall meet, please.
I apologize.
It's a very contentious thing.
I am not biologically knowledgeable in the biomes in which certain animals live. I thought they lived on both areas.
So it's amazing how many very similar cultures will stab you if you get the two of them confused.
Yeah.
Because they're similar, and everybody
Because
knows
they're
the similarities, but there's also differences that are more important to them.
Because there's China and Japan, Australia and New Zealand, and then
Pakistan and India.
and Ireland and Scotland.
Ireland and Scotland, though.
Japan and China aren't all that similar. They just they just look similar from an outside.
Yeah.
Way outside for some
And in all the Spanish-speaking places.
I don't know, like
All of Latin America?
because like
Or people who call Mexico Spain.
there is certainly yes all three of the Mexicos that are in Central America.
Yes, the Mexican countries.
All of the Mexican countries. But like
Oh yeah, there's more countries in Central America than just Mexico. A lot of people are not exactly aware.
But anyway,
there's Upper Mexico, Lower Mexico, Middle Mexico. 3 Mexicos.
Like, those Upper Mexico is what? California?
rolling a perception check.
No, it's New Mexico.
Leaf.
Oh, what?
Leaf.
What? Oh, me.
Leaf. Sorry. No, brick.
He's a brick.
Sorry, you're both named after you're both named after small objects that I would throw at someone.
Throwing a leaf is very ineffective.
I know.
Are you a Bulbasaur?
They're going extinct.
I saw that. I haven't watched that video yet.
It's good. Basically, it's just talking about how the
The starters are so rare.
well, and why they're so rare.
Yeah.
Because they have a 7-to-1 male to female ratio, which is bad.
9. The senses of the ley lines present here. The they distract me.
It's good at it.
What?
Yeah, you have to have a ditto. Is the trick.
But the sense of the rune of the ley lines here. This place, the ley lines flow through here, but they don't form a particular pattern. You don't sense an innate pattern in the land here, like you would in other places. Thinking back, actually, you didn't realize it at the time, but there was a faint pattern in Grim Batol while you were there. That if you had the time to spend, you might have been able to study the pattern in Grim Batol and learn it.
Shucks.
But you were also hiding from Twilight's Hammer while you were there, so maybe once the Horde takes that back, you might be able to take the time and study that pattern.
Alright, that's it for me for the night.
Not among the Twilight's Hammer, they can't.
Sure they can. They just lead a pile of drunken Twilight's Hammer in their wake.
I'm just looking at
Chant
people eat kiwi birds. Come up with no, kiwi birds are not domesticated.
Because I'm sure somebody has asked.
I looked up, do people eat kiwi birds? Because I was confused by the images, and it says no, kiwi birds are wild animals and not domesticated. Do not try to keep a kiwi bird as a pet. What?
I mean, I get that they're wild birds, but what damage could they really do?
Try our kiwi birds delicious.
I don't think that's gonna help.
You never know.
They taste citrusy and green.
Why do you never eat kiwi? Well, now here's the question. I'm talking about kiwi or kiwi fruit.
Zach, you literally just said that. I need you to come look at this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What?
Are you sure that the recipes you're finding aren't for the kiwi fruit?
They look like fried chicken legs, which I'm presuming are fried chicken legs that someone has labeled as kiwi in order to attract tourists in some sort of very touristy New Zealand area.
Probably.
And there's a disclaimer being like, no, these aren't actually kiwis. Those are being under ecological protection by the nation of New Zealand. Don't be a dum-dum.
An average of 27 kiwi are killed by predators every week. Apparently.
They're not legally allowed to eat their national bird.
Oh, it's a national bird.
Kind of like how we're not allowed to eat eagles.
But
Bald
apparently
eagles
it
specifically.
doesn't taste good even if you do eat it.
What would bald eagle taste like?
Like freedom.
Set it up and you knock it down.
Like apple pie and rifles.
Please don't eat rifles.
Freedom. What is I only speak freedom. What does freedom sound like?
Except eagles actually make more of a tweeting kind of noise. They don't.
That's not the joke.
I mean, yes, but still. The iconic bald eagle caw is actually some kind of falcon. I forget what kind.
Harrier Falcon, yeah. Sounds about right. But anyway. Okay. To that tangent. This game has the most tangents in the world.
They're all in the same space.
Yeah.
Tangent, cotangent, and secant.
What about the
It's
cosine?
because it's the most like
And
a normal
it's
D&D
cosines.
campaign.
But, so, where are you guys headed?
Have you woken up yet?
I'm assuming, unless you
No,
died
none
in
of
your
us woke up.
sleep.
We all died in
We
our
all
sleep.
died in our sleep. We're all new characters.
When
What
she,
episode is this?
when Shiana wakes up, where is?
Yeah,
It's
I've already
patted
got
off
the character roll up.
When Shiana wakes up, where is her lips?
Well, there's three of them. Four if you count the head.
Head is not a limb.
It extends off of the
Let's
torso.
not get into this.
It's not a sandwich either.
That's why I say.
It's not a sandwich either!
That's why I say if you count the head. Because some people do, some people don't.
Just like how some people think pizzas are sandwiches.
They are. They're open face sandwiches. So are Pop Tarts, just not open faced.
Anyway.
So is a cookie a sandwich?
It's a biscuit.
No, a cookie is not a sandwich unless it's a filled cookie, in which case absolutely.
What if it's a sugar cookie,
But
like
it's
with
just
frosting on top?
But if it's like a chocolate chip cookie, it's just like a flat piece of dough with ingredients on top. That's an open-faced sandwich.
the ingredients aren't on top? The
No,
ingredients
no,
are baked in.
a sugar cookie. A frosted sugar cookie. Is that a sandwich?
Anyone
Yeah.
else want cookies here?
The definition is not helpful to society, and therefore it is invalid.
It's very helpful to society.
Not at all. Anyways,
In what world do you go to a sandwich shop
I
and
want
get a sugar cookie?
Anyways, actually, lots of
You want to come to
lots of sandwich
work?
shops actually.
To where I work, we sell sandwiches and we sell sugar cookies with icing on them.
Anyways,
That's what we
gather the group together. Minus Shen. Well, Jengatal doesn't talk, so we don't have to worry about this conversation.
Tengatal is going to go study the entomology of a sandwich.
You do that.
Yes, you should study the etymology of a sandwich.
In entomology, is the same things.
Etymology of an ant?
Yeah.
Entomology?
Let's go over there and take a look at
I
the
don't want to
place.
study ant sandwiches.
We can have fun storming the castle.
Charlotte. The Truffles have requested our assistance in taking back their mind. I assume that you're on one.
I think you mean etymology.
I do mean
Let's-
etymology.
Let's murder some wolves.
E-T-Y.
Figure that out.
Cold tooth mine. Sorry, it's not mine.
Out of curiosity,
Do we have a map?
I want to, because I think does Find Steed might give you a telepathic bond with your steed. I think it does. I don't know what kind of telepathic bond it is.
Usually, baseline telepathic bonds with animals are empathic.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how the.
You have an instinctive bond with it that allows you to fire the same as you. While your steed is within 1 mile of you, you can communicate with each other telepathically.
Okay, so both. It's both. Okay. I want to see if Amakwa can acquire the name of that black wolf.
Amakwa tries, and the wolf just walks away from it.
Like not even like from the other wolves, the ones that would know it more. Not from it directly.
It has not formed enough of a bond with anyone for anyone to know its name.
I was gonna have Amakwa fight him out to kill some dwarves and see if that would kindred warrior spirit, but I guess not. Alright, well. We all have mounts, so you guys still need mounts. I forget. The state of our mount situation is constantly in flux, so
Yes,
I'm
it is.
never certain.
I've got my steam suit with me this time.
We didn't take mounts because of the terrain,
Yeah, that's
and the mountains and the snow make it awkward to use mounts that aren't, wolves, frost wolves.
Or rams. But that's a dwarven mount.
You should install like a heater into your steam suit.
Let's see if I can borrow some cloaks for the group. For the frostwolves, so they have some heavy winter clothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you ask around. They've got enough to spare. They can get each of you some heavy cloaks and fur to help with the. It won't stop you from having to make the con saves, but it'll give you advantage, and it will reduce the frequency of you having to make con saves.
I will pass out to those that need it. I will pass out some heavy winter clothing.
Basically, rather than every 10 minutes in the snow, it'll be every time you take a long rest and you don't have a fire.
Does Brick need one? Considering that he is already furred.
Yes,
Okay.
he is not a Tonka. He does need.
Okay.
He is not that kind of furred.
So we'll get everyone some heavy winter clothing. We'll head north. There is a garrison. There's a Frostwolf garrison to the north where their captain. Captain what? What's his name?
Galvangar.
Captain Galvangar might be able to give us more information on the mine.
how long a walk is it?
Probably a couple hours.
I walk alongside my wolf as a show of solidarity with my group.
So,
And with the horde banner displayed on my Sashimono.
you walk a couple hours. As soon as you exit the Palisades, the blizzard is still in force. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, but there's still a significant snowstorm out there. So as soon as you leave the Palisades, the wind picks up, the snow is falling in heavy amounts, and your visibility is cut down in half. And unfortunately, dark vision does not help. You don't have snow vision.
Snow blind, can't live without you.
I forgot that was a
Cause you're
song.
so fine, I just can't get away.
I forgot that was a song.
Snow blind, snow blind. Yeah, Styx.
Yeah, I forgot the stick wrote that.
It's getting boring, so I have to go back and forth.
Wait, going back and forth is boring, so you have to go back.
No, I'm getting hung up with him.
What's the
Rocking
time?
the circle.
What's the time?
Also, the dude who invented the sandwich was
I
apparently
think it's
the
context.
executive officer of a satanic worship group, and he specialized in seducing virgins in order because he found that corrupting innocence to be humorous for its own efforts, and was considered one of the most disliked men in England at the time, and only carried on because he was personal friends with King George III.
Sorry.
So we're walking through the snow.
Nice. Yeah, Constitution to a minute.
What about Elder Blood?
I believe it's also Constitution to a minute.
Rudy?
Well, no, Elder Blood I think less older.
Or is it up to an hour, maybe?
It's about
I mean, there are a lot of things that I'm sure there are a lot of things.
You're the kind of person that, like,
Up to an
I
hour.
went to your house and, like, opened up a door and found,
Yes.
like, the murdered corpses of all the women you've been married to before. I wouldn't be surprised.
Bluebeard. You would be
Yes.
surprised if it was Bluebeard.
If it was Bluebeard. I think Rudy
I
is.
see hints of blue. That might be the screen, but I'm not sure.
No, was Bluebeard weird actually?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So it's weird. That's like
He was a Fire Emblem character. Or just any anime character, really.
Blue in anime, like that dark blue is supposed to be black. It's like black.
I mean, yes, but it's still blue.
So was Bluebeard actually blue or was it black?
It was black.
It was
So-
blue.
so-
According to the
In the sunlight, it reflected. It looked.
according to the original writings, not the it was a tale long before this book. When it was written down by the authors, they wrote it down that he was the Duke of Illico Castle, and he was looked on poorly by the public for the monstrosity of his blue beard.
See, I always felt like Bluebeard could be like called that
Do you
because
have
you strangle people
murdered
and their faces turn
wives?
blue.
I mean, yeah, but everything turns blue aside
Why does
from
it
the
have your
beard.
wives?
Do you have a room of murdered women? Two women you have killed?
Two.
Do you have a painting of yourself that gets older as the years go by?
That'd be awesome. Good narrative.
See, that he admits should not happen. The rooms of, like,
Here, a painting inspired by the tale of Bluebeard, complete with blue beard.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's a weird beard.
Supposedly he bathed in blood to try and cure the Bluebeard.
Regardless,
Anyway, we're heading north.
so we're going.
To a Frostwolf Garrison.
It'd be hilarious if he got purple beard.
Yeah, I just turned purple because of the blood.
He called me Purple Beard.
She was just blue on the room. Sorry.
Wow.
why is Bluebeard in the childhood reading section over here?
Because the same reason all other fairy tales that are horrific for children are in this. You know, the stories that tell you repeatedly that your stepmother hates you and wants to put a curse on you. Repeatedly.
And then hires a hunter to kill you so that she can eat your liver to become as beautiful as you are.
Yeah, or poisons an apple and says, here, never trust
it was
food
hard.
that's given to you.
I thought
No.
I was eating her heart.
It may have been heart and liver, but she definitely
Internal
tried to eat
organs.
her liver. But it was a deer.
People who look at stuff like ancient Japanese mythology or whatever and be like, whoa, that's really weird. You need to read some Grimm's fairy tales, because weirdness is a universal thing.
There's some weird fairy
th-
tales.
There's certainly, yes, there are weird things, but like in Shinto mythology, like Izanagi killed the goddess of the feast because she pulled a feast out of her butt. That seems reasonable to me. Like, no, I'm not going to eat that food. Die. I can relate to Izanagi in that instance. Is what I'm saying.
You can relate to
Is it
having somebody pull an entire face out of their butt.
To that reaction, at
What is
least.
the reaction of no, I'm not gonna kill you.
To the reaction of die, please.
If you were going to be any mythological character, you would be Izanagi. So come on. Like the tempestuous storm, like his whole character.
That's Susanoo.
Oh, Susanoo.
That's
No,
Susanoo.
I would say you'd be Susanoo, honestly.
That's Susanoo. Susanoo, who was banned from the heavens
Because he didn't want to do his duty.
because he didn't. No, what was it? It was
How do we kill Orochi? Let's get it drunk.
Yeah.
Duh.
Anyways,
Let's outdrink this 9-headed dragon hydra thing.
that's when they go to the Mediterranean and get Dionysus.
Let's be fair. All the Greek gods could.
No one could. All the Greek gods could drink, but the fact that Dionysus is the god of drink says something.
No one can outdrink Dionysus.
He's the god of drinking and partying. That's the god I want to be. I want to be Dionysus.
I mean, to be fair, Pan was also kind of a god of drinking and partying. His parties just got a little bit wilder.
One was the god of orgies, the other was the god of murder orgies.
Yeah.
So anyway, you make your way to Iceblood Garrison.
Like I said, Dionysus.
As you pass through this blizzard for a long time, as the driving wind and snow pushes against you, and you feel that cold, but thankfully you've got those cloaks to help you push through it. Eventually you come upon this sort of very squat, low to the ground, heavily fortified stone garrison. You can see the glow of fires from inside, and you can see orcs in heavy metal armor with lots of extra fur lining it to help keep warm, pacing the walls, keeping an eye on the environment.
I make sure that I have the winter gear that I'm wearing arranged in such a way that you can still clearly see the Warsong armor. So it's like the cloak is sort of like just mostly useless because you're still just like rippling abs exposed.
Wait, you're rippling abs for the Warsong logo?
No, the Warsong armor doesn't cover the chest.
Well, it covers the chest, but not the lower chest.
Yeah, like,
So you have armor that's designed to expose your abs,
yes.
and you have abs that are designed to indicate that you're a part of the Warsong
The fact that my abs are exposed indicates I'm part of the worst.
Clarification.
Artistic license.
The war song are the clan of the abs. That's where the song comes from.
It's the abdominal muscles that push that battle scream out.
They are though. Like the war song are the clan of. They are the clan of the abs. All war song orcs are mostly shirtless.
Yeah. To be fair, the war song are the berserker clan. So
Yeah, I mean,
the little armor is sort of their motif. Aside from the burning blade, or even crazier.
Just gonna march into camp like they know us.
well, I mean, march up to it.
Well,
Flag is up.
You approach, and the guards at the gate spot you and offer a wave and an acknowledgement of who you are, and sort of immediately start pushing the large heavy doors open to allow you to enter as you approach the garrison.
What's the? No, it's not. Lokar is in battle. Lokar is in battle. What's the other one?
Thromka.
There. Drumka.
Thromka. The captain is waiting for you inside.
Very well. Head inside.
As you enter the Iceblood garrison, it's sort of a three-layer affair. There's the large central open area where there's a large fire pit that's burning for general central heat for the entire location. And then the second and third floor are the second floor. There's like a central command center and armory, and the third floor is mostly lookout. But stepping down the stairs from the second to the first floor as you enter is a grizzled elderly orc, not quite as ancient as Drekthar, but definitely seen his years. And the most striking thing about him is that he is bare from the waist up in this frozen climate. With a set of heavy leather and woolen breeches and leggings with sort of heavy boots and a pair of metallic bracers, but nothing from the waist up aside from those bracers. The long sort of wild white beard that stretches down and rests about mid-chest, and a large, heavy, curved great blade over his shoulder, just slung on a rack over his shoulder as he approaches. Thrall, newcomers.
Thrall, Captain
Galvangar.
Galvangar.
Welcome to Iceblood Garrison. I hear you're here to take back the Cold Tooth mine.
We'll try anything twice.
Cold Tooth, I gave you the wrong name. Okay, Cold Tooth.
Indeed. Garrett Cloudspeaker, Shaw the Flame Carver, Leaf Ironbender, Josh, and Brick Earth Whisperer and Jangatal Wildwalker. Of the
Soaring fact.
of the Soaring Fang.
We are here to lend what aid we can.
Well, taking back the mine is certainly a massive help. Our forces are currently tied up with the Stormpike's main military assault and just keeping ourselves in food. Hunting and gathering takes up a significant portion of our numbers, and then whenever the Stormpikes decide they want to come calling, that brings everyone else. So we have little time to devote resources to taking back our mines.
In addition to taking back the mines, they've heard that there's a siege engine in the area.
There might be. If there is, they're keeping it well hidden from sight. We've heard the explosions, but that could be a siege engine, or it could just be they've got some sappers on site.
Well, if we can locate it, our goblin can deal with it. Yes.
If you can bring it back to us, that might be something in our favor.
Yes. There are a variety of ways we deal with it.
We need Fulton.
What?
This way we need Fulton recovery system.
If I was a goblin, I would have already admitted that, but I'm not. So. It's great, man. Look, we attach a balloon to it, right? Rocket it up. Then a drone takes it and just flies off with it. It's like stealing things, but fast. That's my goblin. Many of my goblin also makes a lot of drones primarily. So it's like Robo Goblin, Robo Goblin, Robo Goblin.
I'll take our party with.
And we also get us a new recruit if someone's operating it at the time.
I mean, might require a bit of incentive, but you can work with it. Excuse me, would you like me to drop you from this extremely high height, or would you like to work for me?
No, would you like to drop you from this extremely high height, or would you like to put on this nice little helmet? Ignore all the wires sticking out of it; it won't kill you.
Look, it's my human drone. That's just a human with a helmet. It's my human drone. Trust me, there's nothing left in there.
Okay, so what does the surrounding area of this place look like as far as
Around the garrison?
Around where the mine is.
Yeah. So
Is there a place where we could set up and
The Cold Tooth Mine is positioned through a small thicket of forest. There's an amount of forest cover if you wish to approach quietly. The officer that I spotted running the operation is a dwarf by the name of Aggie Rumblestomp. Rumblestomp. Dwarves have odd names.
is there any place where we could set up like a sniper garrison and just harass them until they come after us? Because if we could set up on a hill somewhere and just kind of harass them with sniper fire until they come after us.
They wouldn't charge us, though.
Well, no, but if they did, they would be coming to us instead of our trying to take.
They had enough to take the garrison. They have enough to take us.
Not necessarily.
The garrison of the Cold Tooth Mine was 20 orcs strong, and they were all at least decent warriors.
We should try to pull this battle a little bit more into our favor before we force a fight. If we have to force a fight at all.
we will likely have to. Though,
So Shiana and I are going to sneak in to do something.
There's all sorts of logistics for an iron mine that can be tampered with.
I would
Get in without
Maybe not
being heard.
with Goblin this time.
I would say that taking the fight to them inside would offer slightly more advantage than bringing them out. If they have a numbers advantage, then in the open, us in the open means that we just get surrounded.
Well,
If we're in the mine, we can control how we approach them and how they approach us more efficiently.
I can see
And if
how
we wanted to
deep
drive
it
them
is.
out, even if we wanted to drive them out,
I can see how deep in I can sneak and start taking them out one at a time from the back.
My inclination at least, is a twofold attack. One, Shauna and Josh sneak in to find out what their numbers are and where they're dispersed. Josh returns to us. Then using
she starts picking them off.
she stays in there. Once we start attacking with your steam suit in
Yes.
front, as a very big, loud, and obvious target, they turn to attack us and we start attacking them back.
Yes.
Galvangar, what exactly was mined in that mine?
Iron.
Primarily iron? Only iron.
Primarily iron, a small amount of gold and silver as well, which was mostly just used to enrich the coffers of the Horde. We have little use for precious metals around here.
Indeed.
But a two-pronged attack, drawing their attention to us, controlling the flow of battle so that they can only come at us a good time, while Shiana takes their back ranks, could be a way to deal with them swiftly.
Or alternatively, any kind of a mine, if it's deep at all, it will require fairly thorough ventilation systems. If we could figure out a way to plug those, and whoever sneaks down could use perhaps a slightly modified version of those respirator masks that you created. As they try to blast through more of the walls, the dust won't leave, and they'll be forced to evacuate the mine, and they'll be weakened by it.
Or if I'll look at the captain. Do you have ventilation maps for mine?
I have a basic land map of the mine. The peons were the ones who dig the mines out and typically manage the ventilation themselves. And not most of them are not skilled cartographers. But I do have a general layout.
From my work, if I were able to look at it from my work as a beyond, would I be able to sort of theorize where some of the ventilation shafts might be?
Roll me what trade skills you have.
Blacksmithing and carpentry. I figure carpentry would be the one for setting up shafts.
You need more masonry.
There's a lot of mines have a lot of carpentry in them.
Yeah, but that's more for like the wagons and the
And reinforcing the
Yeah.
walls. You have to reinforce the
Yeah, but the
planning where it goes.
vents are typically much more narrow and don't need as much reinforcement. You're more digging out for the vent.
Yeah.
You need masonry to really take a guess at that one.
I don't have the right sort of experience to be honest.
Or if we did find one of the ventilation shafts, block it, they might notice and try to send someone. And the person they send, first off, it would be another person to get rid of who's handling logistics, and that person would probably have a better map of the exact details that we can sabotage.
Josh, how are you at creating gaseous weapons?
Gaseous. Firebombs. I haven't really had any experience with gaseous weapons.
My idea is that we find some of the vents. Because we have the map of the mines, we can actually get to it and go around it. Find some of the vents, and drop like methane canisters in the vents, and then let it fill the mine for a bit.
Because
Drop a match.
phlogiston is just naturally a gas. If you just regasinate it and shove it down the ventilation, eventually something will explode.
That was the idea. It's
Force it down.
like drop a canister down the vent so it fills out the mine, and then after a while, match,
Oh, trust me, they'll have enough machinery down there that it'll explode eventually.
and then us waiting at the front while they evacuate.
I think trying to sneak in and be a little more.
While a bunch of dwarves are running away in a panic from a fireball, us at the front door with axes and swords at the ready.
You may also find down there trace elements of true iron, which might be useful if you can bring it back.
True iron.
True iron, as the name implies, is a more pure and potent form of iron. It's too tough for standard blacksmiths to smelt into bars, but its purity and strength, if one can bring it to a forge that runs hot enough, can make potent weapons and armor.
So we have two options, two
I think-
primary
I think
options.
Sneaking in is the first way to go. It's just I do a reconnaissance and she sticks around for your attack.
As he became a different type of orc, I forgot I had it was the growling orc.
What does everyone think? Josh is in favor of the pincer.
I would very much like to think of all one at a time.
Belief. Finding a ventilation shaft will take time and be difficult. I will say.
Yeah.
While it would potentially be safer.
It's too. There's too much space. They may have dug out a lot since these guys have been through. So I mean, who knows? So it'd probably be easier just to go in and.
Potentially safer, but also potentially less functional. What are your thoughts?
I believe the pits and room is probably our best bet to find out what's inside, what we're dealing with.
You can see if Shagatal has been listening.
He has. He usually leaves this. He looks at you guys.
I believe the safer method would.
Are you have much stealth at all?
Because remember that we don't have any idea what's in there.
Well, that's part of the
He knows.
The reconnaissance is part of the principle.
I mean,
We don't simply go in blind.
We go in and then I come back out.
And
run reconnaissance and then determine from there.
Right, that could be arranged. Sure. I feel like that's fine. I feel like that's a fine first step. Very well. What's the distance from here to the mine? Should we rest? The question being, should we rest here?
Take care of my suit for a while. Oh yeah, rest up first.
Rest up first.
The mine is east of here and off the road. If you move quickly, you should be there within a pair of hours.
So, let's rest for a bit here. Recover from the cold.
Yeah.
And then we'll head out.
And if you want to take a short rest, you can use your rune to get rid of his last point of exhaustion.
Yes.
Foster. Axe to use.
You're gonna meet asking a lot of questions.
Oh god, I've got a... The problem is that it does less damage than my sword, and I can't use elemental weapon on it.
Which axe?
My sling axe.
Oh, yeah.
I can't use elemental weapon on it because it's a magic weapon.
Why does it do less damage than your sword?
It does because I can't use elemental weapon.
Okay.
Elemental weapon adds another d4 with elemental damage.
What does the axe do?
1d12 damage, and on crits I gain health.
Okay.
I do an extra amount of necrotic damage and regain those health.
Probably depends on whether or not you plan on expending spell slots for this fight.
Well, I naturally have my improved divine split, so I do an extra d8 of damage with guard. Sorry, my sword does 2d8, not 2d6. Sorry. Yeah.
He's got the full blade. So
Okay.
My full blade. So my full blade just passively does 3d8, and if I use other
On my
weapon, it's
mace,
3d8 plus
I'm gonna cast.
I think maybe it's a
I
d6.
hold magic missile spells.
Oh, in the
Yeah, and
But the axe, gives me back life. It really crits.
Yep, chip to crit.
Also, the axe is cool.
crit fishing is. I mean, you just need a way to paralyze them, but
But it,
Only person you do.
yeah, I can paralyze people. Not one person. I have paralyzing poison. The thing is, by the time someone is paralyzed,
I'm already just smashing it.
well, but at that point you're smashing and gaining life, so.
Yeah, if you paralyze someone, I will switch to the axe and
Yeah.
smash them. But the 3
the paralysis lasts until they take a hit or the next round, I believe, for that one.
It's 2 rounds.
2 rounds
Or
or
until
until
they
they
take a hit.
Yeah. So you get 1 free crit if you can paralyze them with that.
Which is probably all you need.
Yeah, but yeah. 3d8 plus 1d4 plus 5 is more than 1d12 plus 4. Plus 5.
I believe you could still
Elemental weapon, only non-magical weapon.
touch a non-medical can you touch. Yeah.
All the enhancement things like that are non-magical, except for smites. I can smite with. So the axe would be 1d12 plus 1d8. Yeah. Plus any smite that I apply. Which I guess 1d12 plus 1 is still lower than 3d8. Roll a dice.
Your full blade has a 2 higher average than a great sword. 2 damage higher.
I guess actually. Would
No.
the life stealing axe?
1 higher.
1 higher.
Would the life stealing axe?
And if you go from a 2d. Oh, wait, no, because it's 2d6 to 2d8. It is
2
higher.
higher.
Yeah. Sorry. I would think, for whatever I think, a d6 to a d8. Like, no, it's 2d6 to
2
yeah,
points
it's
higher
2 points
damage for an exotic weapon for the orcs.
Yeah, on a natural 20, it takes an extra 10 attack damage if it doesn't construct or dead, and I get 10. And it doesn't get like plus 1 to damage or anything, so it's just. It's a good axe. It's just not that good axe. It's a nice sword. Head out.
Take a short rest. You use the mark of, I forget what it's called, but you remove his fatigue.
The mark of untiredness.
So you lose your point of.
Mark of listeners.
Resting and then
Woo.
Yep.
So
You might change the check.
I don't think you did know.
Maybe I left.
You left them with someone to get enchanted.
Did I,
Oh,
I
yeah.
did leave them with somebody. Did I get
You haven't
those
gotten
back?
you haven't gotten it back
I can't
yet.
get them back yet. Alright. If I don't have my chain.
By the way, I put that down on your sheet last week because you picked that up somewhere. 2,000 gold.
I have 2,000 gold somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, because you divvied up the gold that you got.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Thank
just
you.
make sure, yeah.
I got an extra 2.
I did that so that I remember.
The gold from the vault or the gold from
The gold from Vol'jin.
Right.
Just to make sure you know.
Yeah, and I have that listed on my own sheet as far as what we have back at the base.
Right.
Okay, so
Because I didn't take
I
a
got
share of
myself.
it. We've got 10,000 back at the base.
that means I can get my chain hooks and chains some more.
So, you head over, moving through the biting cold and the driving wind, as you hear your boots crunching the snow beneath your feet, and you march and march for a couple of hours, and eventually through the driving snow, the lights of mining carts begin to pierce through the haze. How are you approaching?
I'm still
I guess. Yeah, I gotta get out of my suit.
So while if they're gonna stealth, I'm start camouflaging them.
Well, camouflage, I believe, is for stationary. I believe.
Yeah.
No.
Unless something breaks the camouflage.
No, camouflage. It just all it says is
Okay.
I can ritual cast pass without trace.
Okay.
Okay. If there's something that needs to be changed about that,
Well, no,
that
that
would be good to know. But as it's
How
written,
much does that last an hour?
Quickly check.
I believe it has to be in a natural environment.
Right.
He said double check.
yeah, the pass without trace can only be cast on yourself. Though.
No.
Range self.
Yeah,
But it
if it's-
affects.
Yeah,
a
but
bunch
you would
of
have to
people.
go with them.
Okay.
I can-
He's oversight.
You can probably
I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. That's
So you
that's
can
the
stay inside.
that was the thing that William was thinking of. Was that you can't cast it on somebody else.
Camouflage. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Another natural. Yeah. So actually, it's fresh mud, dirt, plants, soot, and other natural materials for you to be able to cast the spell. Yeah.
There will be soot and mud in the mine.
Yeah.
I would presume. So.
Yeah. So. 10 minutes. Cast off without trace.
So you all get the 3 of you get
We leave no track, and we get plus 10 to all
to yourself.
stealth checks.
I get plus 10.
Yes.
Yep. In addition to your normal stuff. You are now. I don't think anyone can actually
So I just
see
rolled
you.
that. Yeah, that's gonna be 40 stealth.
Good.
Good.
Them's 3
As long as there's actually a place for you to hide, you probably won't be seen. But
I don't think she can be seen with a plus 23.
Well,
I don't think it's.
as long as she stays somewhere where there is the possibility to be hidden.
Yes.
If she steps out in the open, then nothing's helping you there.
Or if somebody has trigger sense.
okay, so we can see the.
As long as stealth is an option,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not failable anymore.
So
And-
the 3 of us gotta go in.
That's what it looks like.
Okay, I'm just gonna follow you guys, and I'm gonna do reconnaissance and then come back out. So you probably won't see me because I'm gonna cast some visibility on me.
So you have advantage on your stealth that has a
Yeah.
plus 10 plus your normal stealth.
Yep, right. So that way, if you don't see me, don't worry about it.
I only got a 31 on my stealth.
Cool.
Shucks.
So,
And I am the wind.
16, 22.
Roll twice.
Did you add 10?
Oh, 32 then. No,
32.
32 is it.
3 stealthy windows.
Just 3 of you?
Yeah, no. We're not going.
I have a,
Even with the plus 10?
No. Well, the idea is that Stealth and
Yeah.
Recon come back, and then we provide.
I come in. Yeah.
Yeah, we're hammer and anviling. They're the hammer, or no, they're the anvil. The two of us will be hammer, and then
Right.
Josh will do whatever Josh needs to do.
And if there's too many people, then you'll just start sabotaging the ventilation system.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah, I can do that from there too.
Yeah.
If I see
Yep.
something else, I might want to steal a tank.
If they have a tank inside the mine, yes, please steal it. That'll be the new anvil. We'll push them towards the tank.
So, okay, well, yeah, we'll. I mean, you give us an hour, and if we don't come back, I'm in charge.
I'm gonna start looking around just a little bit to see if I can find anything that goes to the surface.
Well, we're going to be out in front of it. We don't
Yeah,
want
we're
to
gonna
too
go.
much just in case scouts go.
Yeah, I'm not moving around too much.
Because I don't know if you may have noticed, but our skin stands out against the snow.
What kind of pelts are we wearing?
Probably wolf pelts.
Yeah.
I mean, our faces. You are looking green.
Just looking down over my head.
It helps.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm leaving my suit somewhere
There is
behind
no wolf
you
pelt.
guys until
You,
if
you
I
have
get
to
back.
stitch like 3 wolf pelts together to cover me like that. And break. See, like Garrick and Book are just like burying ourselves in the snow just to hide a little bit.
And I'm just cocooned with one of them. Because, it's twice as wide as it needs to be for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
You can burrito with the wolf pelt.
so I'm basically following them.
So the three of you make your way into the using the snow as cover. You make your way into the cave. At the open mouth of the cave, there is no cover, but fortunately, there's no one immediately present. So you're able to slide your way through without being seen and disappear into the cave. As you make your way further down, as a mining shaft, it's relatively simply laid out. There's one primary shaft that just digs straight down and in, and then as the original miners found veins, they would dig side shafts that would go out and build support structure. But essentially, it's a long tunnel with large central rooms that are carved out for main operations, and then a series of side tunnels wherever they found mineral veins. But as you make your way down, the decline sort of becomes sort of very faint downward curve. And you begin to hear the sounds of heavy boots marching and the sounds of picks being swung and muttering and shouting in Dwarven, which I don't think any of you speak.
Oh, it's none of the stealth party.
None of the people there are there.
Oh, what? Dwarf? No.
That's for our whole goblin party. The one goblin went out trying to be a dwarf.
Yes, right. Never mind. Okay. I don't need to know what
It's
you're
just
saying
2 goblins in a trench coat.
What's the party of all goblins where all the goblins don't think they're goblins? So 3 of the goblins are the warrior.
Estimating the numbers.
Somewhere in the distance, you just hear something that sort of vaguely sounds sort of Burak Korem Kerlam, and you hear these shouting voices that are just telling people to presumably get things moving or move things around. You can't tell numbers by sound just yet, but there's a decent number of boots and picks being swung. So
But they're all pretty much in the center.
they're spread throughout the mine.
Oh, okay.
Like as you pass by each of the mine shafts, you can hear the sounds of people working down at the ends of them. And as you as you guys begin to make your way through, eventually you come across one large central room with a heavy, there's like a heavy series of crates and storage that's in this area, and this room opens up. The tunnel that you're in is about 40 feet wide. The main tunnel is about 40 feet by 40 feet tall, and it's got like the central mine track for carts to be pushed out, and then the branching tracks for all of the mine shafts. But in this large storage room, you can see that there's piles of crates and sacks of materials and spare picks, and a rack of blunderbusses has been set up on one wall, and in one of these side walls, there's a large alcove that's been carved out, and resting in that alcove is this massive steel box with a heavy ram on the front and a cannon positioned on top. You found where they're keeping the siege engine out of the cold.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So, start up. Well, first,
We hear explosions from the outside. We know to come in.
get all this blunderbuss because they're going to be storming over here to get their weapons. So I can't predict it. I'm assuming I can do the tank.
How many blunderbuss are there?
There's a rack of them. They're like most of the rack is empty, but there's about 4 that are still sitting there.
I point at the blunderbuss. I grab a hefty piece of fur and I jam it down the top of it, and I look at you and point at it.
Wait, you can't look at me because I'm just whispering. Yes.
Look where it's coming from and jam down. I proceed to jam a variety of strange objects down the muzzle of these guns.
Yeah, so the 4 guns that are still on the rack, you definitely have jammed.
I'm just going to go ahead and break off. I'm going to seal up that little tank thingy.
Gianna's going as far back as she can.
As you leave the area of Jangatal's stealth.
Well, I'm generally staying with her because he's invisible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Yeah, so you guys
Go
keep
that
going.
way.
You're trying to activate the siege tank?
Well, I'm just going to go, walk around and see if there's anybody guarding it or anybody inside or anybody here first. Before I decide to open it up and try to climb in.
There doesn't seem to be anyone around it at the moment, but you can hear boots. There are definitely people coming towards you at the moment. You gonna keep trying to head down the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stealthy.
Well, if you keep trying to head down the tunnel, there's not a lot to stealth behind it.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. If she hears someone, then she
Yeah,
will
there's
hide.
someone coming up the tunnel.
Okay. Is there an area she can hide in?
Yeah, you can hide behind some of the crates that are here.
Okay. She'll hide.
Alright. I'm going to try to open up the tank.
Well, it's dark. Anyone with dark vision doesn't care about that, and there's no cover to hide behind in the tunnel.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize that. Then yes, she will hide.
So, is there like a top opening or a back
There's a hatch in the back.
or has in the back? So I open that, see if there's anybody in there.
It's empty.
Close it back up and let her read trolls. Make sure I can figure out.
It's basic Dwarven tech. Dwarven tech is designed to be straightforward and easy to operate.
Okay.
Unlike Goblin Tech, which is designed to explode if you press the wrong button. Or the
Or
right button.
press the right button, yeah.
It's a good security
Okay.
measure.
Is there a way to lock the back hatch? From
Not
inside?
particularly. I mean, it's a turn wheel, so you can lock it, but the lock can just sort of be broken if you need to. Like it's a turn wheel latch, so you can try and lock it, but they can also just force it.
Okay, so make sure I know where all the little controls are. Oh, make sure everything's loaded. If it's
Inoffensive, non-licensed music.
is there, Okay, so I can figure out how to operate the cannon,
Probably,
the
yeah.
main gun, and all
Probably,
that.
yeah.
All right. All right. I'm gonna get ready to turn it on. I'm gonna wait a little while first. How long have we been in here at this point?
About 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes just to let them get a better position or whatever.
So
Before I start anything up.
as you're sitting and as Shiana's hiding, you see the group that had been marching up the tunnel comes into view. You see central in this group there is a dwarf of sort of like pale pink skin with a deep brown beard that is just sort of flat tufted out like that rests on the heavy plate that he's wearing, with a very wide upward rising mustache that just extends off the side of his face for a good few inches. The top of his head, his hairline is receding, but what is still there sort of falls down to like mid back in this cascade of brown.
She has a lot of mustache wax. So does Dwarves have a lot of mustache wax.
Or it's just a natural, like the dwarven faces just produce a natural oil that makes their mustaches and beards easy to style. I feel like
That's worse. I feel like that's worse. That just means they don't wash. Look at the smell.
Maybe they just shower in gravel.
Mustache wax. They shower in mustache wax.
but he's dead center in this group, and with him there's four more dwarves, each of whom are wearing similar full heavy armor with axes or hammers and shields, and each of them has a blunderbuss in their back already.
But I mean,
I'm just gonna wait and see what they do. Can I set? How far in?
Don't lecture.
How far are we going in from the entrance of the cave? We've gone past like 100 something.
Probably about 100 feet in. Yeah.
So I can't get out here. The message cantrip is that limited to the round things. Can I use a message cantrip to get up to where they are, or is that too far out of range?
Oh.
Goes to a distance of 120 feet. Yeah, maybe outside of it.
So it's gonna be too far.
Maybe outside of it. Yeah.
Maybe it's
You're pretty certain if you fire that cannon, though, it'll be heard at a distance of about 300 feet, which they'll definitely be within. Yeah.
okay. Well,
Aim and fire.
Yeah. You definitely spotted this patrol that's moving up into the central room. These 5 dwarves that are sort of
No,
walking.
wait. Get the other 2 in the tank. Just, aim, fire, drive out.
the okay. So I know there's an explosive charge that's loaded into this gun right now. My investigation shows that it's a standard. It's not going to be an armor-piercing thing. It's going to be more of an explosion.
At the moment, it's a solid slug because it was designed. They were trying to use it to take over a mine, and they didn't want to collapse anything.
Oh, okay.
So we're using any explosives. So it's got solid slug rounds.
Okay. With Warcraft games, that's firing siege tanks.
Siege. Sieges are a big part of Warcraft.
tanks are awesome.
Welcome to the craft of war.
It's kind of what you craft when you're going to war.
I'm gonna reload my anything cannon with the tangle foot bag in case somebody walks in, and I'm going to
A little bit of wall.
I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and fire one shot just before before I started up.
At anything, or just
Specifically at this at the beginning center. I'm just gonna
At
try
that
to
control.
hit one of
At the mustache. Aiming for the mustache.
Aiming for the mustache.
all right.
What?
Engineering and I don't have. Is it text?
Just imagine you make him with the explosive, and that does the Looney Tunes thing, where he just goes completely char black, and then his mustache just evaporates away.
Meanwhile, we're outside. And we're like, oh, let's go. Oh, fuck. There we go.
We handle. Well, time for two of you handles.
For you to YouTube, maintain the integrity of the handles.
The spamming healing spell.
It's okay. You can be right behind us. We can block up the hallway so we can't get to you.
Bingo.
Just like, hand on one, hand on the other.
Okay. So, go ahead and make me a attack roll using your agility and your proficiency bonus. 22. All right, that will definitely hit.
Not even nice, just so it's going.
Go ahead and roll me 3d10 plus 3d10 plus 5.
17 plus 5, 22. Nice.
The one dead center as you turn the cannon, and he turns and sees the cannon moving and aiming at him, and you just hear this dwarven curse that he manages to get out before the cannon fires, and you see him bring his shield up, and it slams into him and into the shield, which then slams into his torso and pushes him back a good several feet as it crashes into him.
Do we hear this from the surface?
Yeah, from the surface, you guys from within the mine, you just hear this muffled.
Sounds like
That's our cue.
Out of the stove we rise and charge.
And I try to start the up then.
Roll me engineering. And the rest of you roll me initiative.
25.
And also, right behind here, I'm going to go ahead and cast Thaumaturgy to enhance my voice. Okay, and I need that in a minute. Forest, desert, mountain. We are underground.
I'm going to remember that favorite terrains now.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're not relevant because we're underground. The moment we get back on that mountain, I'm sure we'll be in an Arctic environment.
Sure we'll be in Arctic mountains. I'm always of the opinion that like there are multiple flavors of terrain. So
I
if
agree.
one of your favorite terrains counts, then it counts.
I think though what we're in counts way more Arctic than it does mountain. It's
Yeah.
not just like the snowy peak of a mountain. It's like
Yeah, no, right now
snowy wasteland that happens to
Yeah.
be on bumpy terrain.
right now we're in more of a snow lane than a snow mountain.
Because I believe William described it last session. You're on your favorite terrain, but it's 5 feet under you.
All right,
You are above your favorite terrain.
25 to 20.
20.
21.
21. 28 carry. 20 to 15.
17.
17.
Good. The tank should know that.
15 to 10. 10 to 5.
6.
9.
Wow. So what happened is
Just stay out of the way.
Garrick was off at the shot, and Brick and Leaf were like, "Wait, hang on, snow." Fuck.
All right, which of the two of you has more decks?
What's your dex?
13.
I have higher dex.
Like Brick stuck in a snow.
I got too comfortable.
I got too comfortable. It's like, wait, my legs are asleep. Hang on.
Do I have to go? This cocoon is so warm.
You're both going at the same time as far as determining what you're doing goes. Just in case I need to figure out who's going first on something. Because I like the idea that if people roll the same initiative, they get to go at once and try to coordinate team attacks or whatever if they feel like it.
Well,
So, Shiona.
your ears are ringing because the kid just left.
Yeah, Canada just went off the ring.
Just across the aisle.
Okay. Are there dwarves?
Yes.
There are some dwarves.
Yes, you see 5 dwarves.
Alright, and like I am behind them?
Yeah, well, so you're in a relatively circular room.
Okay.
And looking at it from the top down, on the right side, there's the alcove where the cannon is at. Around the outer circles, there's crates and storage and stuff. You're on the left-hand side, and the dwarves are right about dead center.
Alright. She's gonna do her best to like stealth up.
Once you leave the cover of the crates, there's no more stealth, but you can at least get the chance
Walk
to sneak up on one.
silently and
Yeah, while they're turned. Who are you going? So there's one.
It's easy to be
the
silent. All the ears are
whoever is
got
closest to
squished.
me right now.
Okay.
One that is standing that is closest.
It's easy to be quiet when they can't hear anything.
And this individual hasn't acted this round yet, so she would get her assassin thing.
Yeah, this is definitely a surprise.
So that's an auto crit.
Well, if they haven't acted this round, you get an advantage.
And if it hits,
If it is considered a surprise, then you get to auto crit, which I would say this is.
Yes, that's why I was asking. You said it's a surprise, so I said, so okay, so she does get her.
you get advantage on the attack roll.
Okay. Sorry, someone scribbled all over my sheet and I'm trying to read through it.
Sorry.
Oh, well, that was a natural 22 attack.
That's
So-
a crit anyway.
That's too bad.
So you're gonna do.
Can it be a triple crit?
No.
Oh.
Aw, come on.
Well,
You still get to apply your sneak attack.
Does she get? Do orcs have the silly crit in this?
I believe you are Duratar Orc, which I believe, yes, means you have Savage Attack. Which means on top of whatever you're critting, you get to roll another die.
Yeah.
That extra die doesn't get multiplied, but
Okay. So
No, the extra die is just the weapon die. She doesn't get her sneak attack 3 times, right?
yeah, no.
So I remember I had one, but I had a decent.
you are going to roll 14d6.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
15. She gets to roll an extra one for savage.
That's.
You can't have an even number.
I'll say no. That is yeah.
I have.
So she has 66 sneak attack.
Yeah. Well, plus 1d6 for the fall.
Okay, so 15d6.
Are you using the Lightning Claw?
Yeah.
Does that include the extra d6 of lightning?
Oh, sorry.
16d6.
D7.
You get
No.
Yeah, because the lightning damage gets multiplied as well.
Right.
yeah, it's like
So,
50d6. double that,
17d6
and add
plus
the 1d6.
Okay, wait, I don't like this.
17d6 plus 5.
Is there a giant box? We have a giant box of dice.
So they're behind my father.
We have one that the child plays with. Yes. Yes. Here, it's fine. I'll just grab them out of.
Shoot.
No, we have a box like
Oh.
that are ours. Like,
Well, the box and the bag have been toddlered, so.
well, here, I don't know these are loose.
It's fine. They're kitty little dice at this point. 17d6 plus 5. 2d6 of which is lightning. So clarify that.
It doesn't matter for these people. If it was fire damage, it might matter.
14, 16, 17. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, I'm not rolling them all at once.
Oh.
I will do a section at a time.
Well, yeah, but it's still random, even if they do bump into each other.
Yeah. I did not. Okay. Everyone can go over.
Way to go.
Okay. Okay.
That's a lot of 6s.
Okay. Hold on, let me math.
probably dead.
But let's see how dead.
It's looking like there's at least 40 damage here.
Okay, can I know?
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, like, at least.
I want to know.
That's actually a song. That's a Warcraft song.
That's a Warcraft song. That's why I said it.
I don't know any force. Okay.
As we wait for the massive numbers to come up, Garrett, what are you doing? You're running, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What am I adding?
Plus 5.
73 damage.
It's indeed above 40s.
Take that.
It wasn't the overseer, so they are dead.
Yeah. No. Like.
One down, 4 to go.
Why
Can I get to the entrance of the mine before the end of my turn?
Yes.
I will unleash a. It's not going to have any effect, but other than drawing making noise. But I'm going to unleash
One of the hell screams.
a hell scream. Yeah.
You want the war song shouts?
Yep.
So it'll echo throughout the mine.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
The point is,
Get everybody's attention.
yeah.
To go toward the front line.
So Shiana, as the commander of this patrol, is reeling from that cannon shot. You walk up behind one of the other dwarves in the group and just bring the claws around and drag it across their neck, and they just fall like a sack of potatoes to the ground, dead.
Fall like a sack of potatoes -1.
And then there's a demonic scream from the entrance.
And then it's the dwarves' turn.
Do you have a demonic scream?
They stop being surprised at the end of their round.
I don't appreciate it much.
What, the demonic scream?
Yes.
It's demonic.
It's not like actual demon scream. It's just loud and terrible.
There are 3 regular dwarves left, plus the commander. So 2 of them are going to flank you, Shiana. Because battle tactics, there's an immediate soft threat. We got to deal with the tank in a minute. So first,
It's cool. The figurative tank will be out in a minute.
Many tanks.
that'll be 23 to hit,
It would take you money.
That hits. Yes.
which will be
Not as tanky as it will be if Garrett does.
9 slashing damage.
Because
Second one.
a fury warrior / barbarian troll.
20 to hit,
20 hits. Yes.
which will be 8
That's a
slashing
lot
damage.
of meat right there.
And then the third one is going to run over to the siege tank and sort of get up next to it, which will put it a little bit too close to really aim properly at. If you try and shoot that one, you'll have disadvantage on trying to shoot it.
Yeah.
And then
Pistol with the tank.
That's
Pow!
essentially what I'm going to do.
Hit the gas.
That's what I'm going to do.
Gas.
I'm gonna run up to the tank so that it can't shoot me. Okay.
Fucking shreds.
The gas is a strange name for a dwarf.
that's a goblin name. You know what they call me? They call me the gas. Why? That's why.
Because I hit the gas. No, that a goblin that farts out would be fantastic.
So, the commander pulls the rifle off the blunderbuss off of his back and brings it up. And as he pulls the hammer back on the blunderbuss, there's this spark of magic across his hands as the blunderbuss's barrel begins to smoke. As he's going to shoot Shiana with a searing smite.
We should probably go down fairly soon.
Was that one of the blunderbusses that was blocked?
No, it's the one he had on him.
It is a
carrying around.
You can use
They
smites
already
and
had
great
stuff on them. I was hoping they would
Smites specifically call out using command.
He's an NPC.
I know. Something just to
He's devoted his entire life to that study.
It is his archetype. It's the ranged smiter.
Yeah, that's all he is.
And now that valuable and unique knowledge will be lost to the world.
Yep. as the melee smiter comes in after.
So that's
I smite hard.
so that's going to be 20 to hit, Gianna.
Yep.
Don't die before you bond with your wolf. The wolf would care.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
I hope that some of my party members would care.
Some of your party members would definitely care. Just the wolf wouldn't care.
Taking it takes a lot is going to come to your aid.
What was I making?
Constitution save, stamina save.
That's not good. 10.
Okay, you're on fire.
Flame cover.
Not working!
Hold on. It's like shaving. Stop. Aren't you wearing that dragon leather that you crafted from that hide of the dragon I scavenged you that you've been crafting all those days? The studded leather made of dragon
I
hide?
believe so.
Make you resistant to this.
Black dragon lizard.
Yeah, because I did finish it.
Because black dragons breathe lava in Warcraft rather than acid, so it's not acid resistant, fire resistant.
Yeah. Which I believe would make it hard to light on fire.
Oh, still on fire.
You're still on fire, you're taking half damage from it.
Okay. Not as much.
Smoldering, not
Yeah,
bursting.
smoldering, not inflamed.
Or alternatively, bursting into flames, but hey, this insulates very well. It's uncomfortable.
So it's more stylish looking than actually painful. Now you just look awesome.
Yeah.
Now you can start rolling Intimidate.
So you take
Now you can start rolling for metal band covers.
12 points of piercing damage.
I mean, to be fair, the Horde is just one giant metal band come to life anyway, so...
And 6 points of fire damage reduced to 3.
I mean, we do have the level. Was it now level?
They're just the Tauren chieftains at this point.
Level 1,
It's just ETC at this point.
Level 120. Level 120 elite Torrentians.
Like once they hit, they actually did a joke about that when they did the level 100 expansion. They tried to get their logo to work right. It wasn't working because they couldn't get the third digit in there. So first it came out as Lootsie because it was L00. And eventually they were like, you know what? We're ETC now.
Elite Torrentians. Which is an actual in-world metal band.
Yeah.
Well, they're just the Tauren chieftains.
So they played in the last campaign.
Yeah, they're just the Tauren chieftains in universe. 18 to hit.
Yeah.
All right, so the second hit also.
Yes.
It's like how
6 piercing damage on the second attack.
Final Fantasy XIV also has a metal band that does metal covers of all their music, in-game music, called the Primals.
And then he will, since he used his 2 attacks for the blunderbuss, he will use his 3rd attack for the call to attack as he sort of brings his hands forward in a signaling gesture and sort of shouts something in Dwarven, and the 2 dwarves that are next to you get to make an extra attack.
Dang!
The best part about that is that the lead guy of the
This is why I
Primals,
didn't like this technique.
Yeah.
This is why I didn't want to do this. Just for the record.
well, to be clear,
It's a natural 20, which will hit you.
the plan didn't get modified because the initial plan was for us to start the fight at the front of the tunnel.
It'll be 11 slashing damage.
But the tank went off.
And 4 slashing damage from the one that hits you with a 21.
This is the plan, but
Don't die.
Question.
That is their turn.
The dwarf obviously used magic on that gun, right?
Yes.
it's not.
And how many dwarves are there around us?
It's not what?
4 now that 1 has been cut open.
Oh, that's right, but you died.
What's your
Josh.
17.
I'll try to remember that was. Just see if I can get this thing moving.
Okay, just make me an attack roll. You're gonna be using the siege tank's strength, which is gonna be 18.
So it's an attack.
So you're going
with
plus
strength. So I got a plus 8 essentially. 16.
That'll actually just hit them. They're not quite as armored as the commander is.
Okay.
That will deal 2d8 bludgeoning damage plus the steam tank strength, which is plus 4.
Plus 4. 12.
You slam into it, and you can choose to move over it if you want to.
Yeah.
So you can roll
Just
over.
park on top of it.
Yeah. It's gonna do that. Kind of like a gravel.
You want to just park on top of him?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a series of treads, which means it's not
Get out.
yeah, it's not gonna like conform and try and grab him, so he can try and crawl his way out from under it.
Yeah.
But
It's not going to be good for his health.
no, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be kind to him.
Tanks are rarely
Other-
good
other
for
real-
people's
yeah.
health.
They're great for the people inside.
Yeah.
Unless something gets in. And then they're horrendous for people inside.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ricochet inside a tank is deadly.
Yeah, that's my hand grenade.
Or if a shadow floats through your tank
That's
and
That
begins
was annoying.
doing damage to you. As long as you have a kobold party member who can drip her blood on you and change constitution damage to intelligence damage.
You become stupid rather than dead.
That was a strange party dynamic.
Sapphire is one of my most favorite characters I've ever played.
Don't touch.
Yeah, that was fun.
So just gonna run him over
Yeah,
and
it's
then
gonna run
just
around.
park on him.
Park there. Yeah.
Anything you're doing for your bonus action, man?
Bonus action. Can I cast a hex on?
Yeah, you can see through it. So
Okay, hex on the either one of them.
On
Anybody
the leader?
who's on her. Yeah. Yeah, on the leader, sure.
what are you giving him disadvantage on?
Disadvantage on charisma saves.
It's ability checks.
Sorry, David.
It's ability checks.
Disability. Yeah.
So strength would give him disadvantage on any grapple checks. Dexterity would be acrobatics. Wisdom, spirit would be any perception checks he might try to make.
Oh, yeah, strength.
Strength. Okay. So okay. Anyone trying to grapple will have a much easier time.
Yeah.
Brings Jangatol.
All right, so I'm torn. So there's two on her, and then there's the gunman on who's shooting at her. Yeah. So I'm trying to decide how I can best. The dwarves who attacked her only made a single attack normally, right?
Yeah. The commander made two and then gave the signal to make the other two attack.
And the signal was not a spell of any kind, right?
No, it's just his ability as a commander.
But he's definitely cast spells.
Yeah, he's definitely cast a spell.
You need to. Yeah. You should.
Well, step one. Oh yeah, you can take half damage from things.
No, it's the first time you get knocked out, you can stay at one.
Yeah, but you can still also use a candy dodge to take half damage from things.
That's relevant, yeah.
In that case,
Once per round.
the leader probably. So he used a smite.
Yes.
Smite generally indicates high spirit. Because most people that smite use spirit. Let's stop him from smiting, I guess. Because he used magic.
Well, paladins use charisma.
Yeah, spirit.
That's right.
Paladins use charisma, and shamans use spirit. Anyone using the 5e ranger rather than the hunter would also be using spirit, but that's not the case here.
Because I'm trying to decide if I should wyvern sting him for higher upside or scorpion sting him. He's probably fairly intelligent, though. Yeah. Let's see if we can wyvern sting him. It has a much higher upside if it works. Alright. So, get over there and spear this dwarf with a wyvern sting.
That's the paralysis one.
Yes.
Roll your attack.
Does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Good. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. He makes his spirit save.
That's a 6 on the die, so even with his bonus, it's probably going to fail. What's your DC?
It's only 13.
He still fails.
Cool.
He doesn't have a +7 on his spirit save.
You take 6 damage, but most importantly, he's paralyzed for the next 2 rounds until something attacks
I
him.
don't listen to what I'm saying.
He's not proficient in wisdom and spirit saves. He's not actually a paladin. He's an NPC.
In that case, I'm gonna double back and jump on one of the dwarves that's on Shiana.
Alright.
Flank the heck out of it. And I'm going to. How many times can I vicious strike this thing?
However many hunter points you want to spend.
Let's spend 3. Let's vicious strike the heck out of this thing I've got advantage on. It's an 18 on the die. Let's see if I can roll a 19 or a 20. That is not a 19 or a 20, but there's an 18 on the die.
You beat their armor class on the dice.
So, he takes 8, 11, 17, 24 plus 1d6 electrical. 24 physical, 3 electrical damage.
Ow. Oh yeah, he's dead.
Oh, good.
As you bring the spear around and drive it through the chest of one of the 2 that's flanking Shiana and just dig it through.
I forgot the guy hit first time. He takes 6 extra electrical damage.
Oh.
I forgot about that. And then Sneckfriend is going to roll around to flank with Shiana on the other dwarf. That's not a crit, but a 25 hits, I presume.
Yep.
Is he conveniently immune to poisons?
No, he's resistant because he's a dwarf, but not immune.
So he's going to take 9 physical plus 3, 5, 9, plus 9 poison.
Poison is the single most resistant / immune
Yeah.
damage type in the game. So, you did 9.
And
How much physical?
9. 9 and 9.
9 and 9. Okay.
So I'm looking at acid. Because acid is less resistant to you than poison is. And also, I just like to think, I like the vision of a thematically acid wizard.
I mean, that said, poison damage is usually the highest volume damage of the damage types because it's so heavily resistant and immunized.
Yeah.
It typically hits really hard.
I like poison spray as D12.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
It does.
I have a lot of movement speed, so I'm going to end my turn menacing over this dwarf what's trying to get at Shiana.
Rick, assuming you're just running, or are you going to use any runes to help go faster?
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to run.
Go fast, bro.
Or the smash face move.
I was going to use Mark of Magic Striking. Have that ready.
Yeah, but once you get there, you have to take but
Yeah, I mean, it's for an hour. So I hope we're not fighting for more than an hour.
So mark of magic striking and then dash.
The glory
Unless-
the glory of my
Unless
battle.
there's an enemy within 60 feet by with this one. That's-
Not yet. You can hear people. You can hear running coming from every tunnel, but they're not there yet.
Okay, just move forward.
I apologize. I forgot to update Sneckfriend's damage. I get a plus. I rolled a 1, so that's 10 physical damage.
Okay. So one more point.
Sure. He gets a plus 9 to damage, so he can't actually roll 9 damage.
Leaf. Alright, chirp out of snow.
Oh wait, did I not get him the magic fangs?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall if you did or not.
Oh, they have to be made. They're back in.
Oh, they're being made.
They're being made. They're back in Ogremar. Cool.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have them. The same as his magic weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, you have the snake armor though.
Yes.
Your snake does have burning.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow you down the tunnel.
Was for us to start.
That brings us back to Shiana, who is not currently here. So Garrick, with your next turn, you can with your act. If you use your action to dash, you will make it into the room.
Yeah, action dash, bonus action, element left.
I'm also going to take the time just for a moment to cast the sanctuary on myself as we're charging.
So, dashing in putting my sword up and let's get it like so, as I bring the full blade over my shoulder and out, I'm just flicking it through the air. The sort of air lights up with electricity as the storm basically flurries around my sword.
Yep.
As I run into the room, as this big
barge into the room with your weapon charged with elemental energy. While Shiana's going, the dwarves,
I imagine Shiana's stabbing the other one.
probably, but we'll see who specifically she's stabbing in a minute because she might want to go for the one who's paralyzed and get that free crit.
We'll have to see because
Also, as we're going into the room, like you said, that there were footsteps coming from other hallways as well.
Yes, and you're about to see what's coming in that one, because you're still in the hall.
Okay. As we're running out, though, I'm going to go ahead and, with the thaumaturgy enhancing my voice, I'm just going to go ahead and call out
In what language?
in Dwarven, okay? Because there's a bunch of dwarves and I'm addressing them. Just yelling out, yield and you will be spared. That's only going to start working once a couple of them are dead, but hopefully.
Are you trying to sound like an orc when you yell that, or are you trying to sound like something that's like an orc saying dwarvish, or are you trying to make human saying?
I'm just calling it out as I would.
Using his own voice.
So,
Too rough for a human, too soft for an orc.
Yeah.
As is the want of half orcs.
Yes.
So, the dwarves go, and the two of you that are in the hall, you see that pouring out of the tunnel on the side, you begin to see dwarves beginning to approach. They have to dash to get to where they're at right now, so they don't get to start to take swings at you yet. But you can see dwarves rushing in. Most of them are just armed with pickaxes because they were coming from mining, but a couple of them have axes on them.
Rick, you ready to beat up some miners?
Of course.
And then from the back of the room that you guys are, that the large group is in,
Easy seems to be
but from the back of the room that the largest group of you guys are in, you see two more of these armored dwarves that are the guards begin to make their way into the room. Shiana, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, what's happening right now?
We passed your turn for a bit.
Sorry.
So I paralyzed the guy who shot you, killed one of the guys on you, and Sneckfriend bit the snickerdoodles out of the other guy on you, and then
Okay.
Josh perked the tank on the final board.
Are any of them still standing?
The two that are next to you and the one that's under
No,
the tank.
one of them I killed, remember?
Yeah, there's two. The commander and the regular dwarf.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the commander's paralyzed, but he's
paralyzed.
nice.
So the one on you is still.
If you manage,
Then I'm gonna go for the one on the
if you manage to hit the commander, you will be an automatic crit because he's paralyzed.
Then I'm going for the commander.
Yeah, but he also becomes unparalyzed.
He also becomes unparalyzed, but you're probably the best
Right,
person to crit people because you get
I'm-
your sneak attack.
I'm going for the commander.
Because you get advantage because he's paralyzed. You get advantage from the attack roll because he's paralyzed.
You can roll again. Take fire.
Oh, I can roll again because I'm doing advantage. Awesome. Okay. So that is 22.
That will hit. Now, critically strike this man.
17d6 plus 5.
Do you want to use my dice rolling app?
No, I want to do this.
Okay.
It's 26.
Hold on. 2, 6. 14. Okay.
We used this for Shadowrun for a while.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did I leave the door to his room unlocked?
Probably.
See?
It sounds like it.
But
Unless the
I
dog
ran,
got in.
I also ran into the lightning storm. So.
Yes, I did.
Smooth.
Keep looking.
That was almost the award she got at the cast party.
$70.
That's fairly similar to the last noise he will be making.
He's not quite dead. He's hanging by a thread, but he's not quite dead.
It's only a flesh wound.
As he has taken almost 100 damage, but not quite.
Let's go to sleep.
But now it is now it is the dwarf's turn. As more of them are coming in. One that's left on you is going to take a swing at you.
How? You'd hit him to walk away from her, wouldn't he?
No, her.
The commander?
No, the one who is left on her.
But
The one
didn't she have to walk away from him?
No, they're all in a group.
Okay, I thought because he was firing a gun, he was away from her.
No.
Okay.
He was away, but like a square away, not
Okay.
like a good distance away.
It was 10 feet away.
So she only had to shift a single space, which doesn't take her out of the range of the other. So he's going to take a swing. Not flanking anymore, but that's probably still going to hit. 22.
Yes.
Well, you don't pick up the big guy.
12 slashing damage.
Okay. I'm gonna take half damage.
Probably a good choice.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
The one by the tank is going to try and walk around the back of the tank and try and open the door.
You're not underneath the tank, though?
First, he's going to try and get out from under the tank.
Trying to make an
Let's try to get out of
acrobatics.
there. Let's try to get out from underneath the tank.
We're going to try and get out of the tank first. With no dex mod and I set an arbitrary escape DC of 13, and he rolls a 12 on the dice. So he's still trapped under the tank right now. So he's not doing anything right now. The other two guys just ran into the room. They're not going to be able to do anything yet, except for when the Overseer does his thing. So the Overseer is going to use his battle axe. Only going to make 2 attacks with it.
You should attack the troll to paralyze it, right?
Or the person who just nearly cut his throat open. Does a 15 hit you?
No.
Okay, so he misses on that one. Second attack. Well, 15 again.
Yay.
He will forsake his third attack to use his call to attack again. Which, up to 3. So, the one that's next to you and the 2 that he's in the room.
I think yeah, like being stabbed in the back of the throat would stop you from being paralyzed, but whatever.
It's the shot. The shot.
I presume it's a paralysis. It's more of like a deadening of your senses. So like a
strong enough shock wakes you up. Also, it's a mechanical balance thing. Because if you permanently paralyze someone, that's real bad. That's why a whole person is a concentration spell.
And a lot of saving throws every round.
Every round, yeah.
Yeah,
Person, I
which is
can
why you
finally use it.
Which is why you should never make a monster that can cast Hold Person as a legendary action limitless enough times a day.
What?
Sorry, Jeremy made a boss that was overpowered, distinctly overpowered at one point. And and like the 3 people that weren't in the game, that looked at it said, "No, that seems fine." And it's like, but then once we actually got into the game, it was like, they can just like use their legendary action to hold person the one main threat every turn, regardless of if you're free or not.
So the one that's on you only rolls a 13.
Awesome.
I mean, that could be balanced depending on the stats. It can be easily balanced. It's hard to make fun, though.
The two that are at a distance are going to shoot at you. 16 for your balance.
Nope,
Fail
16
saving
does not hit.
And
You can do it several times around.
And
Yeah, but it's a concentration.
last one.
yeah, but it's
Natural one.
Okay.
So it fails.
Okay.
Yes. And if it succeeds, you don't need to concentrate on anything else because he's just not going to fight.
Yeah, but it's legendary actions can be done after anybody else's turn, not just on your turn. So it's like
It's just free extra stuff.
at the end of the turn, before the warrior goes, for example. So the warrior is the big major threat, so it's the most damage. So at the end of the turn, the person before them, hold person.
Wait, so if you hold person someone else, does that automatically break the paralysis of the other
Yes,
person?
because you're not
Yeah.
concentrating.
Yeah. So you can still only have one person paralyzed at
Yes.
a time.
But it basically means that
One person.
one person is always not in the fight.
Yeah, like I said, you can balance it. It's just very, very hard to make it fun.
Or if they're being strategic about it, they hold you before your turn goes up. You don't do anything on your turn. At the end of your turn, hold the next person.
That too.
That too. Or hold you right before my turn, crit you a bunch of times, you're dead, move on to the next person.
Which is what ended up happening with the two major threats had low wisdom saves and were just getting held every turn.
Yeah. Which again, that's not fun.
Yeah,
But with if you take that into account and with its stats, it can be balanced. The idea can be balanced. It's just very, very hard to make fun.
and that's why we don't do that.
Josh,
That's not fun. That's not balanced.
fun is more important than balance.
I guess I'm going to see how fast this thing is and just go charge across.
Charge across.
And run.
Go dwarf bowling.
What should I run? I'm going to aim for.
It is a tank, but it is also an automated vehicle, so it doesn't move super fast, but it does move 40 feet,
40 feet.
Go dwarf bowling.
I was going to run
which
over
is
that.
enough. Which is enough to run someone over.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to run over that. That guy is definitely hurt and keeps harassing.
Roll me an attack roll.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so this is a
Kill, steal, and-
mustache.
Kill,
17.
steal, and take.
That hits exactly.
Aim with the mustache.
Yeah.
23.
How do you want to do this?
I'm gonna take him out with a left tread. I'm just gonna, it's just gonna bump him right into Shiana and just trample half of him.
So as the
Send him flying out the back
Just
end.
gonna,
as
grind him up and
as the dwarf commander is reloading his blunderbuss and getting ready to open fire again, and he starts shouting something. Leaf from out in the hallway, you hear in Dwarvish, "Someone deal with that crazy crunch noise!" as the siege tank rolls up behind him, and he barely has enough time to turn and see it coming before it rolls over him, and there's just a crack as he's pressed into the ground.
Ground up and spit out the back.
it's let a patch on.
You just like hit the brake and hit the gas at the same time. Just,
Yeah.
Drift over him.
I don't know if you could drift a tank with treads.
If
Try.
anyone can do it,
You
it's a goblin.
you can't drift a tank with treads. You can, however, use that as a makeshift launching device to embed him in a wall at high speeds.
Are you embedding him in a wall, or are you making a Jackson Pollock?
Oh, also, I mean, you
It's-
could
it's-
roll an extra d6 for the
it's-
hex damage,
it's-
but he's already
it's-
hit.
That's right.
It's
Yeah, that's
Warcraft.
right.
You're embedding him.
Take two more. But yeah.
People don't splatter in Warcraft.
Oh look, videos of tank drifting.
Are they
You can-
treaded?
Well,
I mean, are they treaded tanks? Is the question.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
If you're crazy
you
enough.
can do it.
How?
Jang.
Mud. Slippery.
I mean,
They don't turn like that.
there's a
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
right
yeah,
off,
yeah.
correct?
Yep.
Or actually,
Yeah. I mean,
Snackfriend's
you
gonna.
get to go in full speed. And you
No,
just,
I do less.
just do
I'm
the-
gonna attack the dude in front of me with spear.
You spin one backwards,
Yeah,
one
because the way you
forwards.
turn with tank treads is by altering the
Yeah.
direction of the
So you're going full
20?
speed, and then one of
20
them
hits.
goes backwards. You're just going to spin it. I mean, it's going to go sideways slightly.
I mean, I've seen a toy train grid, so
6 physical.
if you want to do it, you do it.
I mean,
And
with the
Deja vu.
multi-track dripping there.
Um, 6 physical, 2 lightning.
He's dead.
Multi-track
All
drifting.
right. And could there's 2 other people there.
No, there's 2 people that just entered the room from the north end. Yeah.
Do they look like the grunts that we just took down?
Yeah.
Or, okay. How far are they?
And you can hear people coming in from the south end. They're about 40 feet to the end of the room.
Sorry, which end of the room?
They're on the north end.
They understand there's more coming from the south end.
Yeah.
How
Which is
many
the room? Which is where you came from.
How many people would I estimate are coming from there based on seeing what I saw?
Just roll my perception check.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
That's
I'm very much aware of this.
So you can't tell. Use your boots coming.
How many people did I see when I was in that room?
They were all down the side tunnels, so
It's
it's
a video.
difficult to say.
More than, are there any of the people coming from the north tunnel though?
Maybe, but they're a ways off.
Okay.
So you got time.
So I'm going to go to guard the south tunnel. Yeah, I'm gonna rush over and plant myself in front of the south tunnel. What can I see while I'm there?
Looking in, you can see about 6 of the minor dwarves, all of them armed with pickaxes, but still coming towards you.
Are they in a line because of the tunnel?
It's about 40 feet wide, it's large enough for the siege tank to get through, so they're in sort of a staggered line. They're not like directly adjacent to each other.
How many of them are lightning boltable?
Probably at least 2 of them. If you angle it right, you can probably get 3.
Does the javelin return to my hand after?
No,
I'm bolted?
it embeds at the end of the. You have to retrieve it.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'm just gonna huck a couple of my regular javelins behind me at those 2 dwarves who are still in the room with Shiana and plant myself firmly in front of this door. So
What's the throwing range?
the javelin,
You might be in long range.
I believe javelins are pretty range. It's at least 30 feet, and maybe 60. I mean, I can definitely throw it the distance. I can for short range is 30 or 50. 60, whatever. I think
Range increment is
3120.
3120. They're within long range.
Okay. Yeah, so. Okay.
So you're throwing a disadvantage with long range.
8 is lower. 8 plus. That is 15.
Just barely misses.
That's another 8. So also barely misses. And Sneck Friend will bite at one of them and then fly up. Does 16 hit?
Yes, 16 hits exactly. That's why I said you barely missed.
Okay, that's 13 physical damage and 7 poison damage.
Ow. There's that's your turn. Rick,
Alright, how far away are they?
you are about 50 feet out from the room, but you can see that there's ahead of you. There's about 4 dwarves with pickaxes between you and the room.
Okay, how far are they?
They're about 20 feet ahead of you.
20 feet. Okay. So how many are there?
4.
4? Okay, I will close my hand.
Typically, was a big sparks that which is a bad idea.
It's a tank. Tanks can make trails of sparks on the ground. It's fine.
So they're standing between us and the entrance to where
Where your friends are at, yeah.
Okay. Well then, let's make them. Marco, I will use the Marco Bear striking.
And how many of them are there? 4. Actually, if you hold your action, I can try to see if I can deal with them.
Are you sure?
Because they're sitting in a doorway, right?
They're approaching the doorway. They're running towards it.
Because how many of them could I catch in a 30-foot cone?
Cone? I thought you
Yeah.
were about to cascade once to the bottom.
If you
This
rush
works.
forward and get right behind the first one, you can probably catch all of them.
Yeah, because I was considering doing that and then casting fear, and then yeah, they'll be fine. They just won't do anything, basically. They'll try to cast fear and then use an intimidate check to make them surrender, and you can just rush past.
Do you want to try?
I mean, they don't go between us, so I can go ahead and try to make it do that.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and yeah, fear.
So spirit save.
Yes.
What's the DC?
DC is 15.
None of them make it.
Nice.
They're all frightened.
They have to use their action to run away in the opposite direction.
And I'm going to try to make an intimidate check and just yell to them, surrender or die.
Make an intimidate check. How intimidating can you be, Mr. Scrawny Halford?
I mean, I
they're
still
pretty
have
terrifying.
orcs. They don't like orcs, you know.
And they are pretty terrifying. So.
That is nice. 16.
Alright. See how that goes in their turn. Shauna.
Who's still alive?
Wait, break. Because he was holding his action there.
Oh yeah, break.
And I will continue forward.
Okay, so you dash forward and none of them respond or try and take a swing at you as you run by.
Alright. Now we'll go as far as.
So you make your way into the room.
And I still got commentary you have as well for that. Yes.
Thaumaturgy is not
No. Just last one.
Shauna.
Who's still alive?
The big guy just got run over by a tank.
Yes.
The
You
The
got a
chief
tank
is
right
dead?
next to you. Yeah, there's a tank right next to you. And a gun center.
Is the other guy still on me?
No, he's dead too. There's 2 guys in the north entrance that head deeper into the mine, and then you can see your friends are coming into the south door, but there's also probably some guys coming in.
Oh, is that dude the tank was on still alive?
Oh, he's still alive, yeah.
But he's laying on the ground.
back.
The other guy's north entrance?
Yeah.
Okay, Shiana's gonna go for them.
There's a snake on one of them.
So that one you can get your sneak attack and hit him.
Okay. Do I have advantage on this?
No. They're not playing.
Well, that was a natural.
That's unfortunate. Garrick.
The one that the tank rolled off of
Yes.
is still on the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
He's not had a turn to stand up yet.
Can he be seen by the ones to the north?
Very barely, but yeah.
I know I don't speak common, but do I know the common word for surrender?
Probably.
Alright.
That's probably the only word. It's probably one of the only words you know.
I imagine it's one of the few.
Just roll me an
words
intelligence check just to see if you know that word.
I imagine that's one of the few words that any person on the battle would know in the other person's language.
Yeah.
I mean, except when I rolled 2, but
You might know it, but in the heat of battle, it's not coming to you right now.
okay, that's fine. I'm gonna walk over to the dwarf that's on the ground still. Put a foot on his back. If he's facing on the back.
He was trying to get in, so he tried to fall, so he'd be face down.
Put a 652-pound foot on his back.
It's not your foot doesn't.
No, I know, but push down. Put the foot on his back and hover my electrified full blade over his head so that you can feel the electricity arc. and looking over at the two that are coming out of the north gate, call over my shoulder in Orcish. Leaf, if you could please reiterate the surrender statement. 'Cause I don't know what you said in Dwarvish, but you started spelling things in Dwarvish, and I know you, so I'm assuming you were telling them to surrender. And I would like to try to intimidate.
Roll me intimidation check. With disadvantage if you don't speak the language. Still decent.
Yeah. So that's 17.
17. Well, the one you got the sword to doesn't seem like he still wants to fight. Yeah, thank.
Does he let go of his weapons?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stay right there and see what the other ones do.
So, at this point, as the two with the guns look over and see their friend who is currently held down, and they look at each other and they're uncertain what to do. And at that point, you hear the heavy footfalls of heavy boots begin to trod into the room, and you can hear the lick of flames as stepping out of the northern tunnel is an individual in heavy black plate.
Oh boy.
That's the direction I was going, isn't it?
Yeah. It's still a dwarf. It's definitely a dwarf. This dwarf with pale, gray, ashen gray skin, with black hair draping down the side of their face, just a faint forward bang, a relatively short beard with a lengthy mustache. Their armor is iron black with traces of bright orange flame-like decoration across it. A ram's head carved on the left shoulder and a boar's head on the right. In both hands, they hold a massive pole great axe, that the edge of which seems to be cracked like magma and dripping. As they step forward,
Just like your axe.
and call out in Orcish, "Which of you champions wishes to face me in single combat?" And that's where we're going to end for the week.
I call dibs.
Say goodnight, everybody.
Good
night, everybody.
Farewell. And I don't think anyone's taking your
Bye.
votes.